Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the magic that happens inside your computer. We're not just talking about what it does, but how it does it. We're going to reveal this elegant, super high-speed orchestra that's performing inside the box.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. At the highest level, you can think of a computer as being fundamentally split into two main characters. You've got the processor, the CPU, and then you have the main memory, what we all know as RAM. And these two are constantly talking to each other over this little digital highway called the bus.
So the CPU, that's our star performer. It's the brain of the whole operation, right? It's what does the actual thinking. But, it can't remember everything all at once. And that's where RAM comes in. RAM is kind of like the script that the actor is working from in this exact moment, holding all the lines and the stage directions that it needs right now.
And that, right there, that's the big question. I mean, the CPU and RAM are physically separate parts, yet they have to coordinate with each other billions of times every single second. So how in the world do they pull off this incredible feat of timing without everything just descending into total chaos?
Well, to answer that, we've got to zoom in a bit. We need to look inside the CPU itself. It's time to meet the key musicians in our orchestra, all of them performing at just lightning speed.
Let's start with what's called the register file. Now, this isn't just fast memory, it is the absolute fastest memory in the entire system. Think of it as the CPU's personal little scratch pad. It's short-term memory, holding the exact numbers and data that it's actively thinking about at this very instant. This is literally the processor's current state of mind.
So the CPU has its scratch pad, that's the register file, and it has its math wizard, the arithmetic logic unit, or ALU, which handles all the number crunching. And both of these are constantly talking to that much larger, but slightly more distant library of information, the RAM.
Okay, so what is RAM? Well, it's essentially this massive, perfectly organized grid. Every single piece of data has its own unique address, just like a house number on a street. And that's why we call it random access. The CPU can just jump to any address at once and grab the data it needs instantly. It doesn't have to read through everything that came before it.
And this slide, this really gets to the fundamental trade-off at the heart of computer design. See, the CPU's internal registers, they're built from something called SRAM, which is like a race car. It's unbelievably fast, but it's also really expensive and takes up a lot of space. The main RAM you actually buy for your computer, that's DRAM, and that's more like a cargo truck. It's way denser and cheaper, so you can have tons of it, but it's just slower. This whole balancing act between speed, cost, and capacity is what engineers are always wrestling with.
Okay, so we've got our musicians on stage, the CPU registers, the ALU, the RAM, but they're all just sitting there, silent. They need a tempo, right? They need a rhythm to follow, so they all play in perfect time together.
And the secret? It's a master clock. It's just a simple, oscillating signal that acts like this unwavering metronome for every single component. It synchronizes every single change across the entire system.
So when you see a speed advertised for a processor, something like 3.4 gigahertz, what you're really looking at is the speed of that master clock. It's the literal heartbeat of your computer. And that really illustrates the just mind-boggling tempo our internal orchestra is playing at. Each beat, or clock cycle, is one opportunity for the entire system to take one single coordinated step forward. Now, this is probably the single most important rule for synchronization. Nothing, and I mean nothing, happens between the beats. All the action, every calculation in the ALU, every time the computer's state gets updated in a register, it all happens at the exact same instant, the rising edge of that clock pulse. It's the conductor's downbeat.
And this principle, it's called the dynamic discipline, is what makes it all work. See, the beat can't be so fast that the signals don't have enough time to travel and settle down. The conductor has to give the musicians enough time to get ready for the next note. This ensures no one ever plays from, an unstable, half-finished score. All right, so our orchestra is synchronized, they've got a beat to follow, but how do they know what song to play? Where's the sheet music even come from? This is the foundational genius of modern computing. The sheet music, the actual program instructions, it's stored right alongside the notes, the data, in the exact same memory library, the RAM. And this incredible idea, the stored program concept, means a computer's program isn't fixed in stone. It can be changed just by loading a new song into memory. It's amazing.
So, with every single beat of that clock, the CPU performs this simple little three-step waltz over and over and over. It fetches an instruction from memory,
It decodes it to figure out what to do, and then it executes it. Fetch, decode, execute. Billions of times every second.
So, the crucial point is we've almost assembled the entire picture. We have our musicians, the ALU and the registers. We have the sheet music, the stored program in RAM, and we have the tempo, the clock. But one key player is still missing from our orchestra.
Think about it. We've got the math genius, the personal scratch pad, the huge library, and the metronome. But someone has to actually read the sheet music and point to the different sections of the orchestra, telling them when to play and what to do. Who is the conductor?
And that missing piece is the control unit. It is the conductor. It's the part that takes the instruction fetched from memory, decodes it, and then sends out all the electrical signals that tell the ALU what math to do, the registers what data to store, and the memory where to read or write. It directs the entire performance.
So there you have it, our conductor, the control unit. It's this incredibly sophisticated piece of logic that bridges that gap between software instructions and hardware action. And understanding how this conductor reads its sheet music, those ones and zeros of machine language, well, that's the key to truly grasping how your computer brings code to life.